Welcome back. All right, I don't have to say morning all because it's not morning. I don't have to say afternoon all because we already did the live stream. So technically, it's the second time a lot of people will have seen me today. So quick little news video in between the first and second period between the Colorado Avalanche and St. Louis Blues. Of course, that game will get its own review slash recap once it's done and before the other games get started, providing that game doesn't go to a shootout. And at this point, it could. So, and I say that only because, of course, if it goes to a shootout, it takes a lot longer, yada, yada, yada. All right, so the Nashville Predators in the news for two reasons today. First off, they have waived Eeli Tolvanen. He's been a healthy scratch their last 7 games. I know that Eeli Tolvanen has been given an opportunity, and I've seen some debate about whether or not Nashville gave him a real opportunity. They have. He's been given a shot at a top 6 job and wasn't earning it. The fact he's been scratched as much as he has, they're going to end up sending him to the minors. There's the possibility he gets claimed. I do think that there is a fascination with first rounders that fans may have, where they'll say, oh, my team needs to claim this guy because, boy, he's just, he's going to be really good. I don't see it, and I haven't seen it. So with Tolvanen, I'm kind of hoping he clears, gets to go down to the AHL and gets this game back. At the NHL level, it hasn't been there. And Nashville is a team that if the offense was there, I think he would be getting the opportunity at this point. Also, McCarron, fourth liner for the Nashville Predators, has entered the NHLPA/NHL Player Assistance Program. So we're not finding out a lot about what's going on with McCarron, which is standard when somebody enters the assistance program. My thoughts are, get better, come back when you're ready. And this is a program that seems to have helped players who've gone into it quite well. So hopefully he gets the help he needs, whatever help that may be. And yeah, so for Nashville, there's one forward that's going to be out of their lineup for a bit, and one that I think they're probably hoping does clear waivers so they can send him down to the minors and gets this game back in Tolvanen. But yeah, that's the reason for the Nashville jersey. For Jets news, Manalainen and Logan Stanley will not be playing today. The amount of time they're going to be out is unknown. Manalainen's injury didn't look great, and it looked like, the kind of thing that might take him out for a little while. I believe it's the shoulder. For Logan Stanley, because it's upper body injury with Manalainen. For Stanley, I think it's the ankle, the knee. It's lower body injury with him. So we'll see. We'll see how long they're out, right? That's always the question mark, but they're not in the lineup today. Manalainen has had a really good start with the Jets. He's been a pretty good story, although I did mention in the preview this morning, Asamont, who has impressed me since his call-up. But yeah, for the Jets, they are a team that has definitely got that next man up mentality. So when guys are out, there's going to be other guys stepping in who can play and play pretty darn well. One thing that I noticed, and this is actually hearkening back to Twitter and all that, and this is a post Luke Fox put up. So he puts up that you get sick of having the coach in your ear all the time. And it's an image of William Nylander, and it's an article on Nylander on the Sportsnet site. But it's Sheldon Keefe that said it. It wasn't William Nylander. So here's the thing. And I wanted to ask you guys this question because I know it's something that gets asked of me too. Like, well, your view counts might be higher if you used clickbait, right? If you used like a sensationalistic headline rather than the headlines you used. I don't like it. And this to me is clickbait because this is, you get sick of having the coach in your ear all the time, and it's got a picture of William Nylander, meaning you think, oh, Nylander probably said that, and it's Keefe. And it's Keefe using it to praise Nylander for how well he's playing right now. And I do think it's misleading. I do think that we now have a media, and definitely here on YouTube, I've talked about it as well, where clicks, views are what matters, right? That's important. It's one reason why I had dropped the career videos. The career videos have come back because of popular demand. Career videos where I can find time to get them done, I will get them done. I'll go in an order that I know that's for me to use. And yeah, the clickbait that can be out there, I do my best to avoid it. That's why I don't get into trade rumors. I don't get into all of that. But I want to know what you guys think about this. So if you clicked on an article that says this and it looks like Nylander said it, and then you read through it and you go, wait a minute, Keefe said it, and it takes this quote out of context, which it does, because what he basically says is you get sick of having your coach in your ear all the time, and then talks about how he's improved. And like, okay, so basically you get on his case, and then he improves his game, and you don't have to get on his case again. So it's praising of Nylander, though the way that comes out, it doesn't come out that way. So I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Because again, what I get, it's like I've said too, if I wanted to get more views, I'd be doing a lot of list videos. I'd be doing here's the best players at each position type videos, where I know I'd get a lot of arguing, but all the views would be there. You get 40, 50,000 views, who cares? But to me, I'm not a big fan of that. So anyways, unless, there's a list video that I feel like, hey, this is fun, I want to do this, then I don't really do that so much. But yeah, I'd be interested to know your thoughts regarding clickbait, which it clearly is. But at the same time, the way that media works now, it's kind of what they have. They kind of have to get you with that headline and kind of bring you in. Same thing again with YouTube, where you get told, punch up your headlines, punch up your thumbnails, punch this up and that up. And it's like, channel's doing well. I don't want to alienate my base in trying to pursue something the channel doesn't have. So that's where I sit is I'd rather please the subscribers I have and appeal to people who like the material that I'm putting out on YouTube rather than change it, sensationalize it on some level, risk alienating the base I have, and then trying to chase something I may not get other ones. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Vancouver, of course, since they lost last night, a lot of discussions about Vancouver. I think how they lost is important to talk about, right? So Gustafsson had a good game, but at the same time, Vancouver was shooting at him a lot. So Miller admits he has to be better. JT Miller, turnovers have been a problem with him all season, right? The offense is there. The offense has been really solid, but then there's those turnovers, and the turnovers can be very frustrating. Bruce Boudreau was asked, I think it was Ian McIntyre that asked him the question about whether or not the systems are the problem, and the look from Boudreau was one of, what? And I get it, because Boudreau's been coaching for decades, and he's been using systems. He knows what works. But you can put a great system out there, and if the players don't execute it properly, is that on the coach? Is it on the players? And in this case, he's saying, look, there's individual players who are not executing. And he mentions, handing the puck off to the other team, not part of my system. That's not something that we want these guys to be doing. And so, yeah, I agree with Boudreau on this one. I think the systems are just fine. The players aren't necessarily doing what they're supposed to do with said systems in place. And so today at practice, to finish practice off, they had a bag skate, which of course is a sign that things aren't going that well. They also had Dakota Joshua skating in a top 6 position. Joshua after the game saying he thought it was, or after the practice saying he thought it was more of a wake-up call than anything. I think Dakota Joshua's played well enough that you could absolutely argue that he should be getting a more prominent role. The way that I would look at it, though, is this is a team that needs to get its act together. And so they're going to reward one of the harder working players in Dakota Joshua and hopefully wake up one of the other players who's not been quite as good recently. But it's tough because for Vancouver, outside of last night, they've been scoring goals at will. It's been keeping the puck out of their net that has been a problem. And that's on the defense. There's been some communication about goaltending as well. And it's both, really. But primarily the defense and what Boudreau's talking about players not staying in their structure, right? And that's a whole debate we can have another time too. Jaromir Jagr making headlines too as well. Good for Jagr. At age 50, he's going to turn 51 in a couple of months. He gets 2 assists in his season debut for Kladno. Playing for his hometown team, which he also owns. His statements too on whether or not the team would still be there if he wasn't playing, and he has basically said, look, I have to play. For this team to stay afloat, I kind of have to play. So I feel bad for him because usually at age 50, players have been retired by at least 10 years, and here he is still going. But at the same time, it is inspirational to see him still getting points and still playing well at age 50. It makes the rest of us look bad. So, yeah, there's that side of it as well, but all the best to Jagr. And hopefully has a good year. And sure, hopefully Kladno does as well, because I have a Kladno jersey with Jagr's name on the back. Be kind of fun to wear that if Kladno did do quite well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.